There he comes. Me.
This is so cool. Well, airplanes and 4x4s. I like it. This thing is so sick. How fast does this thing go?
125.
Pretty good.
Pretty slow. It's the slowest airplane, is still faster than any car.
All right, planes and trucks. That's the theme of this episode. Dave, you just flew in.
Yeah, I wanted to see your truck.
And I wanted to see your plane. As you guys know, we just finished this up on the last episode, and we're gonna go and play a little bit in the mountains over there. And Dave just happened to be in the area, so he flew in.
Yeah, I thought I'd fly in and go with you on your first test drive.
We're gonna do a pretty hard trail. I got a lot of work left to do on this, but I just wanna feel it out, see how it is. First time getting it on the rocks. And obviously I still haven't put any miles on it, so who better than the man that designed it all for the maiden voyage, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you think.
Yeah, so let's park this thing. Maybe actually, we can't let you go away without kind of explaining what this is and maybe like a little history about your plane experience, right? So I like planes, bush planes especially, and so I've been drooling over this thing for a while, but for anybody that doesn't know about planes, what year is this? What is it? How long have you been flying?
Yeah, this is a 2002 Aviat Husky.
Okay.
It's kind of the Jeep of the airplane world.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a beautiful plane. I've owned this for 5 or 6 years now. I love it. I mean, it's literally overlanding, but flying. Yeah, so, you know, again, it's a 2002 Aviat Husky. It's a bush plane. It's kind of stems from the Super Cub line of airplanes. It's kind of a huskier Super Cub. It's kind of interesting. It's a 5.9 liter 4-cylinder, so big pistons.
Yeah.
Kind of like a air-cooled boxer. Very simple. The propeller bolts right to the crank, and it's limited at 2,700 RPM so that the tips of the propeller don't go supersonic. This is a very high-performance plane for what it is. We have 31-inch bush tires. These are very low pressure, so you can land
nice
out.
Squishy.
Yeah, you can land out in the sand and the washes and the rocks. You can run over big rocks, and they don't care. So anyway, yeah, you can put 2 people, all your camping gear, and you know, I have a bunch of camping gear in here right now. I've got chairs and tables and coffee.
Go camping.
Sleeping bags, you know, just in case. This is kind of the classic old school panel,
I like it.
which I actually like better. I do have some modern gauges in here from Avionics up in Montana. These are made in Montana, which is kind of cool. This one tells me the traffic, and this gives me all my flight information as a backup to all this. You know, a lot of these planes, you just fly by feel. You don't really look at the numbers too much. Yep. It's rear steer, so it's like imagine a rear steer Porsche 911.
Yeah.
You know how?
So, dangerous.
Yes, and yeah. So this is they take a lot of skill, and you really have to stay up on flying these.
Yeah. So let's park this thing.
I really enjoy flying. It's a challenge, and it keeps my head out of work. You know, so if I want to get away from work, this is what I go do.
I'm taking off the sway bars so we can go wheeling.
Goodbye. Gonna air down for the first time. Dave is taking a relaxing moment in the front of the truck.
Working.
We just had burritos, so we're all really tired. Squishy. 70 degrees out. We're going right up there. Allegedly. We'll see how far we get. It's probably the hardest trail in Tucson. The first time I ever did this trail, and you basically come up to this wall, and there was a Nissan Xterra, like almost upside down, coming down it. Back left tire, like totally in the air. And so I was showing you on the map, I had to take the bypass and winch him out. So I didn't even get to do the obstacle.
backwards looking for ways out of a one-horse town. I found a 6-string, taking a jump that westbound train. Now only slow down long enough to stand up on that stage.
Yep, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. There you go, see that?
Yep. It's just like A-track.
Keep going, keep going. But with the diesel, it
doesn't matter.
It works really good. Like, you don't feel it.
I do a lot of left foot braking, like a lot. Like in my GX, I pretty much always drive like left foot and gas so I can like control like the jounciness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this thing just like powers right through it. It's like no problem.
It's just, you're gonna find it's a lot different wheeling a truck that weighs 9,600 pounds. You'll have more traction, so that'll be an advantage in some areas, but it also, you know, obviously it's more weight to move around, so.
And once we get weight in the back, it's just gonna be even better. Like I wasn't, you know, we're going up, coming down, like you were saying, it's gonna be different.
Yeah.
With no weight in the back.
This will feel a little bit unnerving coming down.
Yeah.
With no weight in the back, you'll feel the back end be really light.
All right, here we go.
So I picked this trail because it has a couple interesting obstacles on the way up to the main obstacle where we kind of get to feel out how this truck does when it flexes. It's pretty interesting because it wheels very different than a GX being full solid axles. Obviously, it's a 3500 with an empty truck bed as well, but overall it drives really well. And in terms of tire pressures, we're at 20 in the front and 10 in the rear. So this thing is pretty light in the back, as you can tell by the tire pressure.
Yeah!
This is probably the hardest obstacle we hit today, and let me tell you, this truck does not give anything justice to the actual size.
Yeah, it really does not give it justice.
right, coming down. Good to go.
You got a couple inches.
Oh man.
I don't know. Come hard left.
Yeah.
Okay, it's coming up and going down. It's gonna flex. Slow, slow. The back end's gonna come up. Come this way. More, driver. Okay. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Okay, straighten it out. A little bit more, driver. Once we get that wheel up there, it'll bring the back end down. Come on. Okay, now straighten it out.
Oh man, we just had the rear end up so high. This thing's so heavy in the front, but Dave knows how these things work and the balance with them a lot, so I'm really glad that he came along for this. It's a totally different truck than the GX. Totally different. Absolute weapon. Drives very differently though. Pretty crazy. That was fun.
Coming down is the hardest, scariest part with it having no weight in the back. So. Hold up. That's a sick thing. You turn the wheel straight. There you go. Does not do it justice. Hard right.
Right?
Hard right. Or hard left.
Driver.
There you go.
Man, this thing coming down is totally different. Crazy. I was saying I wanted to go that way. Oh. Wow, an airplane. We're back at the airport. Dave's got to go.
I got a 2-hour flight.
Yeah, I got a 2-hour flight. Doesn't want to fly in the dark, but appreciate you coming out and doing a little wheeling. Yeah. It's a lot of fun for me. And I had a spotter, which was not normal, which was really nice. So.
Well, hopefully you got some basics down, right? It's different. It's a lot different.
It's very different. The rear end's very light coming down, likes to lift a lot. Going up feels like solid. And it flexes really, even though it's empty, it flexes really nice.
And that'll improve when you put your camper on, put some weight in the back. It'll be perfectly normal, but you still have the difference between straight axle and independent that you'll be learning for a while.
I'm used to the GX moving a little bit more, and this one's just like, I can tell like it's walking. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, all right. Well, appreciate you coming out.
Glad you're enjoying it.
Absolutely. And we'll have to meet in the desert sometime with this thing.
Yeah, no problem. 100%.
All right. See you later.
Okay. Cut.